We left the center of town and wound our way up the hill into the residential section. Mid-century modern was what the hip kids were calling it now, but back in its heyday, the 50s, it was just considered modern. The houses on the street where I grew up were all about squared edges and big windows, the better to appreciate the view of the ocean, and the yards were small, tidy, and fenced. A few stucco houses with red tile roofs and some rectangular gray, ultra-modern houses peppered the neighborhood, but for the most part, Gull's Harbor clung to its Brady Bunch split levels with a tenacious grip. Soph parked in front of our childhood home, and I felt a clutching sensation in my chest. The house looked exactly as I remembered it. Rough-cut stone on the bottom with pale yellow on the wood above. The roof peaked over the double front doors, which were painted white like the trim. Rectangular planters, loaded with succulents, lined the short walkway to the door. And I took a deep breath, realizing I was now going to have to make that walk and face the dragon within. I climbed out of the car and glanced behind me, down the hill, over several rooftops and the center of town, until I could see the blue of the ocean all the way to the horizon. I took another deep breath of the briny sea air and held it in my lungs. Whenever life seemed to be too much, I took comfort in the constancy of the sea. It was here before me, and it would be here long after I departed this earth. For some reason, that awareness always helped me get my perspectacles on and focused. There were things in the world so much bigger than me and my petty problems. All right. Soph grabbed my bag and joined me on the walkway. Yep, I'm good, I said. The front door wasn't locked, so I gave it a gentle rap with my knuckles before walking in. Hello? I called. No one answered as we walked through the small entryway and turned left into the great room that boasted floor-to-ceiling windows with the same spectacular view I'd been taking in from the walkway outside. Who's there? Babs sounded grumpy. It's me. Julia. I stepped fully into the large living room, giving my mother a small smile. She was seated on her favorite burgundy velvet divan, which had always reminded me of a throne. It was placed on the far side of the room and gave her an optimal view of the goings-on in the house and outside. She had a pretty agua afghan draped over her legs and an untouched breakfast tray on the coffee table beside her. Her hair, styled in a pixie cut and dyed the color of champagne, was expertly arranged, and her makeup was perfection. No one would have guessed she was 64 years old.